Today, on April 19th, an astronomical event of truly massive proportions is unfolding in our skies. And I'm certainly not referring to just another fleeting planetary transit that simply arrives and departs without much fanfare. Instead, I'm addressing one of the most structurally demanding and karmically significant astrological alignments we will witness all year: the exact conjunction of Mars and Saturn in Aries. And here's what has truly captured my attention. Many of you have already been feeling the profound impact of this for weeks. It's that crushing sensation of relentlessly trying to move forward, yet somehow perpetually getting nowhere. It's akin to pressing the gas pedal as hard as you possibly can, only to find an invisible force stubbornly holding you back. There's a very specific reason why this phenomenon has been occurring, and it's likely not what you initially imagine. If you've been feeling trapped in some kind of cosmic waiting room, as if you're meticulously doing everything right but the universe simply refuses to grant you permission to advance, please stay with me. What I'm about to reveal will completely reframe your understanding of everything you've been experiencing. More importantly, I'm going to tell you precisely what profound opportunities and breakthroughs become accessible once you successfully navigate this intense period. But first, there's a crucial element you need to grasp about what's actually transpiring in the celestial sphere right now. This is far more than just another routine transit. This is, unequivocally, a karmic checkpoint. Here's a critical point most people don't fully realize. The convergence of Mars and Saturn is unlike a typical planetary alignment. These two celestial bodies are traditionally referred to in astrology as the two malefics. When they coalesce in the exact same position in the sky, particularly within a cardinal fire sign like Aries, the resulting energy is anything but soft or gentle. I genuinely believe this is the universe orchestrating a profound moment where you are compelled to prove your mettle. Mars embodies pure action, relentless momentum, and fierce desire, that undeniable burning need to propel forward and manifest change. It represents raw ambition and unadulterated drive. In Aries, its home sign, Mars operates at its absolute peak power. It craves speed, demands immediate results, and harbors no patience for waiting. But then there's Saturn, the complete antithesis. Saturn functions as the cosmic taskmaster, the planet governing limitation, structure, time, and inevitable consequences. Saturn essentially dictates, "Not yet. Show me your blueprints. Prove you're truly ready." Prove you're truly ready. And this is precisely where the intensity escalates dramatically. Saturn is considered to be in its fall within Aries. This signifies that it's operating in an environment fundamentally hostile to every principle it upholds. Saturn champions caution and meticulous planning, yet it finds itself trapped within the sign of impulsive, immediate action. So, what is the inevitable outcome? Pure, unadulterated friction. I've personally experienced this dynamic, and I know countless others among you have as well. It's akin to revving your engine as hard as humanly possible, only to discover the handbrake is still fully engaged. You're expending massive amounts of energy, working harder than you ever have before, yet you're barely inching forward. If this perfectly describes your recent experience, rest assured, you are not imagining it. This energetic reality is profoundly real. The exact timing, when everything intensifies. Allow me to provide you with the precise specifics, as the timing of this celestial event truly holds immense significance. Mars initially entered Aries on April 9th, marking the very moment when this powerful acceleration began. You likely felt a sudden, potent surge of motivation, heightened ambition, and perhaps even a degree of aggression. The innate desire to take decisive action and relentlessly push through obstacles became incredibly strong, didn't it? However, on April 13th, Mars formed a conjunction with Neptune. That's when circumstances began to feel murky and indistinct. Energy levels plummeted, confusion permeated the air, and a clear sense of direction became increasingly elusive. It was almost as if an invisible hand had thrown a wet blanket over that nascent fire. And now, today, April 19th, at precisely 7:00 p.m. tonight, Mars and Saturn converge at the exact same degree, 7 degrees and 51 minutes of Aries. This represents the absolute peak, the critical crisis point, the definitive moment where the immovable object dramatically meets the unstoppable force. But here's a factor that renders this astrological configuration even more complex, a profound realization that struck me when I began to examine the full cosmic tapestry. Mercury is right there too, just 13 hours after the potent Mars. Saturn conjunction, Mercury forms its own conjunction with Saturn, and a mere 10 hours after that, Mercury then conjuncts Mars. Therefore, we are not simply dealing with a dual conjunction, but a formidable triple conjunction, Mars, Saturn, and Mercury, all stacked together within a single degree. This isn't just about experiencing a sense of being blocked. It means your thoughts, your words, your crucial decisions, and all your communications are being caught and compressed within that very same cosmic pressure cooker. I'll elaborate on exactly why this is so critically important in just a moment. Why this feels so unbearably frustrating. Let me be completely candid with you here. This transit is undeniably difficult. In fact, it is designed, one, to be challenging. If you've been experiencing intense frustration, profound exhaustion, or even feeling like you're on the verge of snapping, please understand that this is not an indication that you are doing something wrong. On the contrary, that very sensation is precisely the whole point. Consider it from this perspective. Mars inherently wants to sprint, while Saturn insists on a measured walk. Mars says, now. Saturn says, not yet. Mars implores, trust your gut and go. Saturn demands, show me the plan first. And you, my friend, are caught squarely in the middle of this internal and external war. You feel an undeniable urgency. You clearly know what you desire, and you are more than ready to make your move. Yet, every single time you attempt to advance, you inevitably encounter a formidable wall delays, seemingly insurmountable obstacles, resistance from authority figures, systems that steadfastly refuse to cooperate, and doors that simply will not open, no matter how relentlessly you push. But here's what I genuinely believe is actually happening, and this insight is absolutely crucial. These delays are not punishments, nor is the universe arbitrarily being cruel. I truly believe that Saturn is actively protecting you from the profound mistake of building something massive upon an inherently weak foundation. You see, Saturn doesn't merely punish, Saturn remembers. It functions much like a meticulous cosmic accountant, diligently scrutinizing your past actions, meticulously checking the structural integrity of your endeavors. If it detects any foundational cracks, it intervenes and stops you. Why? Because if you were to continue proceeding at Mars's breakneck speed with an unstable foundation, the entire construct would inevitably collapse later, and the ensuing fallout would be exponentially more catastrophic. So yes, it feels incredibly frustrating, and it might even feel profoundly unfair. But I firmly believe it's actually a powerful protective mechanism. Does that perspective resonate with you? The Mercury element. Watch what you say. All right, so remember when I highlighted Mercury's crucial involvement? This is precisely where the intensity escalates to an entirely different, highly impactful level. With Mercury forming conjunctions with both Mars and Saturn on April 20th, this goes far beyond merely feeling stuck. This transforms into a genuine crisis of communication. Your thoughts are likely to be remarkably sharp, rapid, and even aggressive, a direct manifestation of the Mars influence. You might experience an overwhelming, burning desire to tell someone precisely how you feel, to definitively cut ties, or to speak your unvarnished truth with absolutely zero filter. However, Saturn is positioned right there, vigilant, and Saturn is going to hold you meticulously accountable for every single word that emanates from your mouth. If you utter something in a fit of anger today, or in the days immediately following, if you impulsively send that email, or if you engage in that explosive conversation, Saturn will ensure the consequences are not only real, but also stick long-term and potentially permanently. I have personally witnessed this dynamic unfold countless times during transits of this nature. Someone reaches their breaking point, they lash out impulsively, they articulate words they can never truly retract, and then they are left to contend with the extensive fallout for months or even years afterward. We're talking about burned bridges, irreparably damaged reputations, and profound regrets that simply refuse to dissipate. So, here's what I genuinely need you to internalize. This is unequivocally not the moment for impulsive, unfiltered communication. Instead, this is the opportune time for strategic silence, for meticulously thinking 3 steps ahead before you utter a single word, and for treating every word as if it carries immense weight, because right now, it profoundly does. If you absolutely must engage in a difficult conversation, that is perfectly acceptable. However, approach it with the calculated precision of a seasoned chess player, rather than the raw, impulsive heat of a warrior. Because the universe, my friends, is observing, and it is meticulously keeping score. The test: what the universe is actually measuring. So, what exactly is the profound purpose behind this entire astrological configuration? Why is the universe intentionally subjecting us to this intense pressure cooker? I believe there are a few very specific and critical qualities that Saturn is currently assessing within us. First, Saturn is testing your capacity to delay gratifications. Can you steadfastly continue working and investing your effort even when immediate, tangible results are nowhere in sight? Aries energy instinctively craves instant rewards. Saturn, however, is inquiring if you possess the fortitude to construct something that inherently requires time, patience, and sustained effort. Can you consistently show up day after day and diligently put in the work, even when nothing visibly appears to be changing? Second, Saturn questions: can you separate your inherent worth from your speed or external achievements? Our contemporary culture is undeniably obsessed with relentless momentum, rapid growth, quick wins, and the illusion of overnight success. But Saturn is entirely indifferent to these metrics. Saturn genuinely wants to ascertain if you can cultivate true patience. Can you trust the meticulous process, even when it feels agonizingly slow and decidedly unglamorous? And third, a deeply significant aspect: can you effectively handle authority without regressing into a childlike state? This touches upon what some might call the father wound, how you react when confronted with resistance. When you encounter opposition from a demanding boss, an inflexible system, or a prohibitive gatekeeper, do you immediately collapse into a spiral of frustration and rebellion? Or can you instead maintain your composure, assert your personal power, establish firm boundaries, and strategically navigate these restrictions with the maturity and wisdom of an adult? I genuinely believe that successfully demonstrating these qualities is precisely what unlocks the subsequent rewards. It's not about achieving perfection. It's about consistently showing up with unwavering discipline, mature discernment, and sheer persistence, even when every fiber of your being screams to quit or to explode in frustration. And if you can accomplish that, if you can truly pass this cosmic test, the universe holds something truly remarkable in store for you. 3 specific things, 3 powerful unlocks that will inevitably materialize once you have definitively proven your readiness. Unlock 1. Foundations that can't be shaken. All right, So here is the first profound reward, and honestly, this might just be the most valuable one, even if it isn't the most outwardly flashy. Once you successfully navigate this intense Mars-Saturn conjunction, once you cease fruitlessly fighting against the imposed restrictions and instead begin strategically working with them, you unlock the unparalleled ability to construct things that possess true longevity. You gain the power to lay foundations that simply cannot be shaken. You see, prior to this demanding transit, you might have predominantly relied upon innate natural talent, sheer luck, or initial bursts of momentum. While these attributes are certainly advantageous, they are ultimately not sustainable. They tend to burn brightly for a time, then inevitably burn out. What Saturn meticulously imparts to Mars is the invaluable lesson of how to build brick by painstaking brick, slowly, methodically, and with an absolute refusal to take any shortcuts. And when you commit to that process, when you genuinely embrace the often tedious, unglamorous work of actually fixing the inherent cracks, diligently strengthening the underlying structure, and doing it right, rather than merely doing it fast, you create something that possesses the resilience to withstand absolutely anything. The significant projects you initiate during or after this transit will not simply collapse when the initial wave of excitement inevitably fades. The deeply committed relationships you forge will not fall apart at the first sign of difficulty or challenge. The businesses you meticulously build will not crumble under the pressure when the market unpredictably shifts. Why? Because they were authentically forged under immense pressure. They were meticulously built on bedrock, not ephemeral sand, and that caliber of enduring stability, that, my friends, is truly priceless. I believe this is precisely why some individuals emerge from this challenging period with careers, relationships, or life projects that go on to profoundly define their entire existence. Because what they meticulously constructed during this rigorous test was undeniably built to last. Unlock 2. Emotional mastery and unshakable discipline. The second powerful unlock is deeply internal, and for many individuals, this particular one proves to be the most profoundly transformative. Aries energy is inherently impatient and often quite reactive. It tends to throw what amounts to an energetic tantrum when circumstances don't align with its immediate desires. And frankly, most of us possess at least a subtle degree of that impulsiveness. We instinctively want what we want, and we typically want it right now. And when that immediate gratification is denied, we inevitably become frustrated. Our motivation wanes, and we often simply give up. However, this Mars-Saturn conjunction actively compels you to evolve beyond that rudimentary state. It forces you to squarely confront your own emotional immaturity, your ingrained need for instant gratification, and your regrettable tendency to prematurely quit when challenges become arduous. And when you definitively realize that these emotional tantrums are utterly ineffective, when you clearly see that the universe will not simply bend to your will just because you are angry or impatient, you are then powerfully compelled to cultivate something far more potent: discipline, not mere motivation. Motivation is notoriously fickle. It arrives and departs like a transient guest. It is fleeting and inherently dependent on your momentary feelings or prevailing external conditions. Discipline, however, is fundamentally different. Discipline is the unwavering ability to keep moving forward, even when you absolutely don't feel like it, even when the task is undeniably boring, even when no one is watching your efforts, and even when the desired results remain frustratingly invisible. And once you unlock that profound capacity, once you learn to consistently operate from a place of deep discipline instead of being swayed by ephemeral motivation, you effectively become unstoppable. Because you are no longer externally dependent on fleeting circumstances to sustain your progress. You have successfully engineered an internal engine that reliably runs no matter what obstacles arise. I've personally been working on cultivating this within myself, and I can unequivocally tell you it is an absolute game changer. You cease needing perfect conditions to begin. You stop passively waiting for the right mood to strike. You simply show up and diligently do the work. And that unwavering consistency, that, ultimately, is what forges results that truly endure. Unlock 3. Career breakthroughs and real authority. And now we arrive at the third powerful unlock, the external reward, the one that manifests tangibly within the material world. Saturn, as you know, meticulously governs career, public standing, inherent authority, and effective leadership. And when you definitively prove to Saturn that you can responsibly wield the potent energy of Mars, when you demonstrate that you can be ambitious without being recklessly impulsive, assertive without being destructive, and relentlessly driven without developing a sense of entitlement, Saturn, in turn, will elevate you. This entire process functions as a cosmic sorting mechanism. It meticulously differentiates individuals who merely complain from those who consistently execute. It separates those who habitually cut corners from those who are committed to diligently doing the foundational work. And the ones who successfully pass this rigorous test, they are the ones who are profoundly elevated. This elevation can manifest in myriad ways. A sudden, well-deserved promotion into a leadership role you've diligently aspired to for years. A long-awaited financial stability that finally clicks into perfect alignment. A significant career breakthrough that seemed utterly impossible just weeks prior, or meaningful recognition from influential individuals in positions of power. And precisely because this momentous conjunction is occurring in Aries, a cardinal sign of initiation and bold leadership, the new roles you step into will inherently demand immense courage. They will require you to pioneer something novel, to embrace profound responsibility, and to lead decisively from the very front lines. But here's the truly beautiful aspect of this. When you earn this caliber of success through unwavering discipline and genuine accountability, it simply cannot be taken away from you. It's not merely blind luck. It's not merely fortuitous timing. It is pure, undeniable merit. It serves as tangible, irrefutable proof that you have diligently done the necessary work. And that profound kind of earned authority is, by its very nature, permanent. I wholeheartedly believe that the individuals who consciously choose to embrace this challenging transit, rather than stubbornly resisting its transformative lessons, are going to look back on April 2026 as a definitive turning point in their lives. It will mark the precise moment they ceased playing small and decisively stepped into their authentic, formidable power. What this looks like for each sign. Now, I want to briefly touch upon how this profound conjunction might manifest uniquely for you, depending on your individual rising or sun sign. This is crucial because the specific area of life being rigorously tested is distinct for everyone. While I won't delve into exhaustive detail for all 12 signs, that would undoubtedly take an eternity. I do want to provide you with a clear sense of where this powerful energy is personally landing for you. If you are an Aries, this conjunction is directly impacting your first house, your fundamental identity, your physical body, and your core sense of self. This signifies the most direct and intensely personal experience of this transit. You are being powerfully compelled to redefine who you are at your essence, and to consciously step into a significantly more mature and evolved version of yourself. For Taurus, this energy is situated in your 12th house, governing your subconscious mind, hidden patterns, and spiritual work. This period might feel like an intensely internal battle, one you are navigating largely on your own. However, the profound reward awaiting you is a massive identity reset, especially as the Sun gracefully enters your sign on April 19th. Gemini. This potent alignment is activating your 11th house, which oversees friendships, social networks, and long-term aspirations. You might find yourself navigating complex power struggles within groups, or learning the invaluable lesson of being more strategic and discerning about your alliances. Cancer. This conjunction is hitting your 10th house of career with considerable force, bringing intense pressure in your professional life and significant tests from authority figures. However, if you can steadfastly handle this challenge, you are poised to unlock truly major professional growth and advancement. I could certainly continue through all the signs, but I believe you grasp the overarching concept. Wherever Aries resides in your unique astrological chart, that is precisely where this rigorous test is unfolding. That is where the pressure is steadily building, and ultimately, that is where your well-earned rewards will powerfully materialize once you successfully pass. How to actually get through this? Alright, so while knowing all of this intricate astrological information is certainly valuable, the pressing question remains: what do you actually do with it? How can you effectively navigate today and the demanding days that follow without completely losing your composure? First and foremost, accept the delay. Cease fighting against the imposed restrictions. I understand it's incredibly frustrating. I know you yearn to move at a much faster pace, but this block, this deceleration, is present for a profound reason. So instead of futilely ramming your head against a seemingly impenetrable wall, strategically utilize this period to significantly strengthen your foundation. Fix what is genuinely broken. Meticulously plan, thoroughly prepare, and consciously build. Second, exercise absolute control over your words. Seriously. Before you impulsively send that text message, dispatch that email, or engage in that emotionally charged conversation, pause. Take a moment to genuinely ask yourself, is what I am about to articulate strategic, intentional, and constructive, or is it merely a reactive outburst? Because right now, more than ever, your words possess tangible, far-reaching consequences. Third, cultivate an unwavering focus on discipline, not fleeting motivation. Don't passively wait until you feel an inspirational surge. Just show up. Consistently do the work. Trust implicitly that the results will materialize in due course, even if you cannot yet perceive them with your current vision. And finally, be incredibly gentle and compassionate with yourself. This period is undeniably hard. You are bound to experience moments where you desperately want to give up, where you feel like nothing you're doing is yielding any positive outcome. That is entirely normal. It is an intrinsic part of this rigorous process. Just keep going, because I truly believe that the individuals who steadfastly persist through this challenging time are going to be overwhelmingly glad they did. The bigger picture, why this truly matters. I want to zoom out for a moment and offer a broader perspective, because this isn't merely about one isolated day or a single challenging week. This entire experience is fundamentally about the person you are evolving into, the version of you that existed prior to this potent Mars-Saturn conjunction. That version might have heavily relied on sheer speed, on fortunate luck, or on opportunistic shortcuts. And while there's inherently nothing wrong with utilizing those advantages, it's ultimately not a sustainable approach for long-term growth. The version of you that powerfully emerges after this transformative period, however, will be fundamentally built differently. You will possess foundations that are utterly unshakable, a steadfast discipline that simply refuses to quit, and an authentic authority that was rigorously earned, not merely bestowed. And that evolved version of yourself? That is precisely who you will need to be for the profound changes and opportunities that lie ahead. Because just a few days following this intense conjunction, specifically on April 25th, Uranus will ingress into Gemini. This initiates a monumental 7-year cycle of massive technological and communicative revolution across the globe. The world is accelerating and transforming at an unprecedented pace, and only those individuals who have cultivated truly solid foundations will possess the stability and resilience required to effectively ride that monumental wave of change. So yes, this transit is undeniably tough, but I genuinely believe it is meticulously preparing you for something far, far bigger and more significant. And honestly, that prospect is incredibly exciting to me. All right. If you're still with me, a sincere thank you for watching. It genuinely means a great deal to me that you stayed engaged through all of this intricate discussion. If this message resonated deeply with you and you desire more content of this nature, I would truly appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button. It supports this work more than you might realize. And please, do drop a comment below. I'm genuinely eager to hear what you personally have been experiencing. Have you been feeling that intense push-pull energy? Have you found yourself stuck in frustrating delays? What specific challenges or insights have been emerging for you? I diligently read every single comment, and I absolutely love connecting with each and every one of you. Take good care of yourself. Trust the process unfolding around you, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next one.